Big Jones the Juggernaut on the night shift. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unleashed. So tonight I want to talk about something a little different. We're going to take a little break from bodybuilding. We're going to come back to that. But tonight I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about, let me just jump right into it. So I'm at Walmart, and I don't know about you and your town. You guys can hit me up in the comments about that. But every time I go to Walmart, there's always a show. There's always some wild shit going on at Walmart, either because of, well, usually because of the people that come in there, man. There's usually always some weird, person that's dressed really ostentatious, or there's always something going on. Let me just tell you what happened here. So I'm at Walmart. I've got the informant with me. The informant is my youngest, okay? My youngest, he comes with me wherever I go. If I get in the car, if I'm putting on my shoes, like, can I come too? It doesn't matter where I'm going. I could be going to a trash pile in the middle of anywhere, and he's just like, oh, I want to go too. Because, you're that age, he thinks he's going to get a toy or a treat or something, and he usually does, depending on how he is, not every time, but I'm a little bit of a pushover with that, he's my little buddy. But anyway, so me and the informant were at the Walmart, and it's actually going pretty normal. It's a little busy in there, but it's pretty normal so far. Nothing crazy's happened yet. So we're walking around, getting whatever, and I make a right into the dairy, and there is a female in there with what is quite literally a bikini top. Okay, I live in Southern California, so that's not that strange, but it's just a little, if it was in any other store, it would seem out of place. At Walmart, yeah, it's kind of anything goes. You kind of expect that thing. And she's like a college chick, so I'm like, I see her coming, I'm like, nope, avert my eyes. I'm not getting involved in that. I'm not making eye contact. I'm not checking her out. She was cute, from the second and a half I took a look at her, but no, I'm not. I look away. I don't want to ogle anybody. I don't want to end up on anybody's watch list. Fuck that shit. So anyway, we go off to the cash register, and there are like 4 of these chicks. I see that chick again, and there's like 3 others. One's got like Daisy Dukes, and the other's like, I'm like, oh my God, man, what is it with these? It's like these broads are trying to pick up a freaking husband at Walmart, man. I'm like, good God, and I'm looking at these broads, and I'm just saying to myself, thank God I don't have to pick a wife out of this dating pool, man, because, man, I would be single for the rest of my life. I have no idea how you kids date these days, man, with Tinder and all these dating apps and all that. My own mother is dating, man. She's going out on dates and stuff. I can't handle it, man. I can't handle listening to my mom going on dates and, oh, I can't believe you didn't bring me any flowers. And I just can't deal with it, man. I have no idea how you people are going on dates these days, man, because the dating pool out there is so murky. I can't even deal with it. I hear stories from my buddies, that do these hookups on Tinder and whatever, Bumble, I don't know, man, Grindr, I think that's one of them. I don't know anything about these dating sites. I've never been on one of them. The last time I was on a dating site was on Yahoo Personals. I don't think that's even a thing anymore, but it was on Yahoo, and it was basically like a personal, like you could put it up, like, single black male looking for same, I don't know, whatever you're into. But I don't even know. I wouldn't even know where to start right now. Every time I see a situation like that, it just makes me appreciate my wife that much more. I love my wife to death. She is such a wonderful woman, wife, mother. She stresses herself. She works herself to death trying to make sure that we have good birthdays, good holidays, vacations, all that stuff. That's all her. Because if it was up to me, we wouldn't do half the stuff that we do. Those kids wouldn't get half the stuff that they get. Not because I'm a tightwad, but just because I never know what to get. She always makes sure everybody has a great holiday, great birthday. She's been doing that forever. She is the Renaissance woman in my life. She is amazing, and I love her to death. I can't say enough good things about my wife. But it's funny because what makes it funny sometimes is that, everybody, if you date or you're married, there's a good chance that your wife is going to ask you one of these questions. And one of the questions that I think everybody's significant other asks them is, if you had to get back together with one of your exes, who would it be? Or would you ever get back together with one of your exes? And for me, that is a resounding fucking no. Absolutely not. My wife doesn't believe me. She's like, yeah, but if this person called you and stroked your ego a little bit, you'd probably go like, no. No, 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 no. I cannot think of a single ex-girlfriend. Single ex-girlfriend, get it? No, I can't think of a single ex-girlfriend that I've ever had that I would want to get back together with. That is no. No, no, no. I will go forward and find somebody completely new. First of all, I can't imagine life without my wife. Seriously. She is the backbone of this family. We're talking about a woman who's surrounded by men all day long. I mean, it doesn't take a freaking genius to look at that situation and see who's in charge. Not me, That woman holds it together like I can't even fathom, She's got, the two young ones. We got the one that just turned 18, and hell, I'm a big kid in my own right. I just turned 40. I'm a big kid in my own right. I can't find my car keys half the time. She knows where everything is. She's a Renaissance woman, baby. If you're watching, I love you. I can't say enough good things about you. But and going back to an ex, hell no. I have never had. Are any of you guys out there still friends with your ex-girlfriends? I mean, I got a couple of ex-girlfriends that are still on Facebook that I see. What's her name's birthday? I'll send her a little heart emoji and a thumbs up, So, that's about as far as I go with the ex-girlfriends. I've got a couple of ex-girlfriends on Facebook. My wife knows all about them. We've talked about them extensively, I'm sure. But getting back together with one of them, I mean, would anybody even ever consider that? I mean, it would have to be on some really, really good circumstances that you'd even consider that. I mean, I can't even imagine. Every relationship I've ever had ends horribly. I mean, I'm talking blood, screaming, crying. I'll never love again. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just, I mean, and the blame is not, I know it's the guy thing to say, oh, crazy woman, crazy girlfriend, crazy ex. No, a lot of the blame is on me. When I was young, because you got to remember, I'm 40 years old. I haven't had a girlfriend since like 2006. That's when I met my wife. I met my wife in 2006. That's the last time I had a girlfriend, and not her. It was the girl I was dating beforehand. That's the last time I had a girlfriend was 2006. That's a long time ago. I can't imagine going back to her. And like I said, a lot of the blame is on me. I'll take that because I just hate sitting around listening to crying and blubbering and tears and carrying on, so what my MO was is I would break it. My wife always said, well, if you didn't like that, why don't you just break up with her? Well, I did break up with them. I just forgot to tell them about it. It was kind of fucked up, but it's true. I used to kind of move on, but not tell them about it. I'd be like, yeah, oh, I can't do it. I'm kind of busy. I guess today the kids would call it ghosting. I ghosted them just because I couldn't deal with all the crying. But why are you breaking up with me? And it's like, if you don't know why I'm breaking up with you, then we clearly are not meant to be together, So that had me thinking about it. I had me thinking about. Hang on one second. Computer's about to log me off, but anyway. Yeah, man. I'm thinking about one of my exes, the woman I dated before I met my wife. Man, we were together for a long time. We were together for like 5 years. And man, we in the 5 years that we were together, we probably broke up like 4 times, And the reason we should not have been together, man, because, we just had too much that was not in common, and she was a really devout church person. I got nothing against Christians. I got nothing against if you're religious or not. It's just not me. I believe in the Lord. I believe in God, but I just don't live my life in the Bible and at church. I'm not a church person. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not going to go around quoting Bible verses. That's just not my MO. That's not who I am. So But she was, and she really wanted to be that perfect Christian guy. And, she was saving herself for marriage, which, Big Jones at 21 years old, I was ready to go, so, and then you meet a girl and you like her, but she's like, yeah, no sex till marriage. I'm like, oh, well, fuck, and then you don't want to be that guy. At least I don't want to be that guy, say, oh, well, I'm breaking up with you because you're not going to put out, and it's a little bit of ego on my part, I still wanted to date her. I liked her. And, I did try a couple of times. I did try to say, hey, you know what? This isn't working. I like you a lot. You're an awesome chick. Why don't we just be friends, and, leave the girlfriend, boyfriend stuff out of it. And, that turned into a whole thing. And again, crying, blood. And it's just, like, all right. Let's try it again. So, but nothing changes, So anyway, I brought this all up to tell you a story. It's kind of a crazy story and it's jacked up. It's really fucked up. I'm into telling self-deprecating stuff in hopes that maybe one of you guys out there will be able to, come with me on this ride. But here's what happened. So like I said, I'm dating this chick, devout Christian, no sex before marriage, and I think I was her first boyfriend. In fact, I'm positive I was her first boyfriend because she makes a lot of rookie mistakes. Like, you ladies out there, chime in on this. She took me with her on, like, girl stuff, like she would say, oh, we're going out to eat with some friends. Like, okay, cool. And I go out and it's nothing but females. It's like 5 other females and I'm the only guy. Like, baby, this should be like you and your girlfriends. Why am I here? Oh, because I want you to meet everybody. Okay, yeah, that's a fucking rookie move, ladies. If you ladies are out there watching right now, don't bring your new man around all your girlfriends all at once and bring them to dinner. That's not cool, okay? That's because you never know. You never know. Every female out there, you may know it, you may not know it, but there is at least one girlfriend in y'all's clique that's waiting in the wings, that's got no man, or maybe she has a man, but she doesn't like him anymore. But, you bring your man around the wrong girlfriend and there's going to be a problem, okay? And if you ladies out there don't know what I'm talking about, you might be that bitch. But anyway... so she brings me around her homegirls, and again, like, I'm like, why am I doing... So anyway... One of her homegirls, this girl named, I'm gonna make up a name. Let's say her name's Emily. But anyway, Emily, cool chick, and she kind of likes me, and she kind of agrees with what's going on here. She's like, so why did she bring you to her girl thing? Like, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like a double date kind of thing. Like, oh no, honey, no, this was gonna, like, I would feel really out of place if I were you. Yeah, I do feel really out of place. So anyway. She comes back from the bathroom. Is everybody getting along? Like, yeah, honey, we're getting along, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that ends. Now, Emily emails me on the college email site. There was no text messaging back then. I didn't have her number. So she emails me on the college email, and she says, hey, I hope you had a good time. It was nice to meet you and everything. Oh, okay, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So at the time, I'm thinking, is she flirting with me? No, she's not flirting with me. So, nothing happens. A couple weeks go by. I check my email again. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, weird. I'm like, nothing. Why? What are you doing? And she's like, oh, I was just hanging out. I was wondering if you and Raquel wanted to come and hang out with me. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. So I almost said her real name there, but I changed it at the end. I'm going to put her on blast. But anyway, so the friend... me, her, and the friend, I tell her, like, hey, yeah, your friend Emily wants to hang out. Like, and she's like, do you like her? And I'm like, no, she seems cool. She's nice. She's like, I think you like her. I'm like, and it's like, it's weird. It's like knowing that I like her makes her want to go out more, which is weird. I don't know. This whole thing is weird. But anyway, so me and Raquel end up hanging out with Emily this weekend. It's hard to keep these fake names straight. But we end up hanging out, and it's cool, whatever. I think we just went to the club or something, went dancing. Anyway, fast forward a few months down the line, we have a big fight. Me and Raquel have a huge fight. We break up. And... it was like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She said something. I said, I couldn't tell you what it was about. It was 15 years ago. So anyway, me and Raquel break up, and is waiting in the winds. She sends me another email. She says, "Hey, I'm sorry about you and Raquel." Like, "Oh, it's cool, it's cool." Like, "Hey, do you need to talk or something?" Blah blah blah. And you fucking females are slick, you know. And she got me. So anyway, long story short, you know, we end up hooking up a few times, having sex, you know, and we end up hooking up. So, you know, this goes on for like 4 or 5 weeks. Nothing, or we're not dating. We're just kind of hooking up. You know, she was getting out of a bad relationship. I was getting out of a. We were just kind of each other's rebound. You know, it's kind of worked out kind of nice. So anyway, me and Raquel end up getting back together, which was kind of our MO. We break up, we get back together. So, you know, obviously I'm not going to tell her about Emily. You know, it's her friend. I mean, it's like the biggest taboo when you're dating is you dated her friend and you've hooked up with her friend, and especially with someone who's not, you're not having sex with at all because they're a Christian, you know. So that's like a huge taboo. So I'm trying to keep that under wraps. So anyway, what ends up happening, you know, fast forward to the end of the school year, you know, me and Raquel are still together. And then at the end of the school year, we always have some huge fight. It's like at the end of the school year, she thinks I'm breaking up with her. I'm not. I'm just going home for the summer. I'm going back to San Diego. She's in Phoenix. You know, you can't come with me. I'm still living at home. You know, if I had a place, I'd let you stay, but I can't, you know. So we'd have this big fight, break up. I go back to San Diego. She stays in Phoenix, you know. Eventually we start talking again and blah blah blah, but this time it was for real. This time I'm like, you know what, I'm done with this. I can't do this over and over again and blah blah blah. And she's devastated, she's heartbroken. Raquel is like, I can't believe this, please, you're like the only man I've ever loved and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm sorry, it's just not working out. We're not meant to be together. I'm sorry. This is why I ghost chicks, because I don't want to go through all this I'm sorry and blah 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 and all this tears and hysterics. I just can't deal with it, man. So anyway, it's the end of the school year. I'm back at home, summer vacation, and Raquel sends me it's not send me a text. She calls me right out of the blue and says, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" I'm like, "I'm busy. I'm at work. What do you want?" And she's like, "Well, do you think you'd have time to come and meet me?" I'm like, "Meet you? What are you talking about?" She's like, "Oh, can you come and meet me? I'm at the La Quinta Inn." I'm like, now, for anybody else, that would sound like a booty call, but for Miss Church here, probably not. So I'm like, ugh. So I'm thinking, oh, all this is going to be is more crying and tears. I'm like, did you drive here all night from Phoenix? Like, yeah, I just drove in to surprise you. I'm like, fine. So you drove all this way, I'll come and see you. So, and I'm thinking on the way, because I'm driving over, and I'm thinking to myself, like, there is no way this chick would drive by herself all the way from Phoenix to San Diego. It's about a 6-hour drive, you know, and it doesn't seem like in her character to drive by herself. So I'm thinking, okay, that's weird. You know, maybe her sister or somebody came out, or a friend, I don't know. So I get to the La Quinta, and who do you think drove her there? Emily. She gets out of the car, and Emily gets out of the passenger seat, and I'm like, oh, shit. I let myself think for a split second, maybe this is like a threesome thing. Maybe this is like, I know I'm fucked up. But for a second, I let myself think, hey, maybe she brought her because she's afraid to have sex, but Emily is not. So maybe she's like, oh, okay, well, I know you guys like her, and I found out about your little relationship, and maybe we could all get together and have fun. Yeah, no. I let myself think that for a second, and then I snap back to reality like, no, this is going to be a fucking disaster. So I'm trying to play it cool because I don't know if she knows, because I kind of ghosted Emily too. So, but, you know, she wasn't trying to have a relationship. She was just, we were just having fun. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, she can't be mad at me about that. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at this situation. We're standing in the parking lot at the La Quinta Inn, and I'm like, this is fucked. But maybe if I just be cool, okay, just be cool. Be like little Fonzie. What's Fonzie like? Cool. Correctamundo. So I'm standing there in the parking lot. I see these two chicks that I have history with, and I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like, hey, ladies, what's going on? And he's like, oh, nothing. We just wanted to come see you. I'm like, oh yeah, what's on the docket? You know, I mean, I'm a little tired. What's going on? And she's like, well, Emily just came and drove with me, so I thought maybe we could talk. I'm like, you and me? And she's like, no, I thought we could all talk. I'm like, what do we all three of us have to talk about? And I'm thinking like, wait a minute, is it a threesome? This is a threesome. I've seen a lot of porn, and I know what threesomes start off like. But again, man, I'm like, it can't be that. So spoiler alert, it's not like that. Anyway, so she has a room at the La Quinta. We go upstairs and we're sitting down, and I'm like, okay, ladies, what's it gonna be? Why am I here? And man, both of them ripped me a new one. Emily looked right at me and she's like, before you say anything, Travis, we are definitely not having a threesome. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate. So should I leave? She's like, not until you tell me why you didn't tell me you were getting back together. I'm like, I'm going to have to go back and bleep that out because I said her real name. But you're going to have to tell me why you thought you could get back with Raquel without telling me. And I'm like, I thought you and I were just having fun. I didn't think. And then Raquel comes in with, yeah, and when were you going to tell me that you were sleeping with one of my friends? And I'm like, she hit me up on email and was like, yeah, but you could have told me about it and blah, blah, blah. We were still together when when she hit you up on email. You should have told me about it. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I just walk into? So we sit in there for the next hour, back and forth, and I just end up apologizing. I'm sorry. And then I ended up with, like, you know what? If you would have just had sex with me, we wouldn't be having this problem right now because, Emily didn't have a problem with that. And Emily got up and was like, you're a fucking pig. You're an asshole. Let's go, Raquel. Let's get out of here. Let's get some Mexican food. I'm like, you know what? I got my just desserts, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be like that. I was young. I was horny, and I'm sorry. I'm not now apologize to you. I'm sorry. If you ladies out there are watching me, I apologize. I don't mean to be. I was kind of a pig back then. I can admit it. I've tried to reform my ways, but it got me thinking. Because eventually I want to have guests on my podcast. I want to bring people in that I think are interesting or have an interesting story to tell. What do you guys think about if I bring my ex-girlfriends on the podcast? That's actually an idea I've had, to call my ex-girlfriends and be like, hey, would you guys like to come on my podcast and talk about what an asshole I was? Like self-reflection. Like, what's it like to date Big Jones the Juggernaut? Like, what was it like? We're talking about in my teens and 20s, so I've changed a lot. I just turned 40, okay? I apologize for being a douchebag when I was 20 or 18 or whatever I was. I apologize to whoever might be watching this. If I dated you and I was a jerk, I apologize. I like to think I've since reformed my ways, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would you guys want to see me interview my ex-girlfriends? Would that be a thing you guys would like to see? I'm sure seeing me sit here and squirm in this seat might be nice, but let me know if you guys would watch that. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe. BJBL Unleashed on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram while you're at it. See you guys next time for more Unleashed.